Welcome to the Melanated World Network. Produced by DM3 Entertainment. Letting you know that melanin is sexy. And learn to love melanin masculinity. And letting the ladies know that virtuous femininity is your superpower. And encouraging men to be on their purpose. And the ultimate goal is a melanated nuclear family by any means necessary. So sit back and enjoy yourself, and you might learn something. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I'd like to say welcome to all my subscribers, and those who are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like so we can get them numbers up so this video can be seen, because I'm going to tell you, it is sometimes a little discouraging when you make a video and you think that it's going to do well and you get 1 or 2 views because the algorithm will not connect it to what needs to be connected to. So with that being said, I just want to get into this video here where I want to let y'all know, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, melanated Americans, and I'm going to say this probably every time at the beginning of my videos. When I say melanated Americans, in your mind, you should think Black American, you should think African American, because I refuse to use those 2 terms because we are neither African nor are we Black. Black is the color of a crayon, and African is a whole nother continent, and we have not grown up in Africa. We do not have ancestors for the last 5 generations who lived in Africa. So we are not African Americans. We are melanated Americans, or we are Black Americans. But the Black, like I said, is a crayon color. So I think it's time for us in the year 2024 to stop saying Black American and start being a little more educated and know the fact that the reason why we look different than our other American counterparts is because our melanin pops. So we would be melanated Americans. Now, with that being said, I want to get into this thing where we have a lot of content creators that go to other parts of the world, and right now they're going over to the UK. And over in the UK, we have a problem with our melanated UK family where they're trying to discredit melanated Americans, talking about we have no culture. Well, I'm going to explain to you something that maybe they have been bamboozled, brainwashed, or something of the sort, that they think that we have no culture because they don't recognize it. And this video here is to help them recognize that. So I'm going to react to some videos that these people are saying that melanated Americans have no culture. So without anything else being said, let's go into this first video where we're going to see this first one. He was sitting at an interview, and the man asked him this. So let's go.
That Black Americans have no culture.
If you can that's all I need. If somebody can just show me that part,
then it'll all be put to bed.
Do you understand? But at the end of the day, it's like people who want, as I said, if I don't make something relevant, then it's not relevant, as far as I'm concerned. So it's like, there's nothing I said that Malcolm X didn't say. There's nothing I said that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan didn't say. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, it's Burna Boy saying it, and he's from Africa, and you know what I mean? It's like, and it fits the agenda for your little group or whatever. You understand? It's like, all that's beneath me. Show me the part where
All right. You heard the young man, being straight from Africa. He came out talking about Americans don't have culture. And he tried to use Malcolm X. He tried to use Farrakhan as his receipt or his reason for having that point of view. But if you grew up in America and you know that your grandparents, your great grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, they will tell you a statement that I'm about to say. What is understood doesn't need to be said. Malcolm Farrakhan already understood that being an American, being a melanated American, we have culture. But what happens is the rest of the world or the propaganda of the West is not starting to seep into the heads of our brethren from other countries, our other melanated people from other countries. And they're falling for the nonsense and the foolery saying that we have no culture. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give you a definition of what culture is, and then we're going to kind of get into that. So, check out what the definition of culture is.
Culture. Culture encompasses the beliefs, customs, traditions, values, art, language, and social norms shared by a particular group of people. It is a dynamic and evolving force that influences how people perceive the world, interact with one another, and pass on knowledge from generation to generation. Culture plays a significant role in shaping behaviors, defining social roles, and fostering a sense of belonging and unity within communities. From the grandest monuments to the tiniest rituals, culture weaves a tapestry that celebrates human diversity and heritage. So, student, let us embrace the richness of culture and the unity it brings, celebrating the diverse expressions of humanity that have graced this world throughout history. Comment your questions to have me answer them 24 hours.
All right, now there's your definition. And if you understood what he said, cultures is the way of life of a certain group of people. The way they dress, the way they talk, the way they serve God, the way they create their music, what their food they eat. This is all culture. And for melanated Americans in the UK, melanated Brits to say crazy stuff like America don't have culture. For melanated Africans, because let's not get it twisted. There are Africans that are not melanated that are from the continent of Africa because Africa has many different shades of melanin throughout the whole continent. And you also have European descendants who have been living in Africa for more than 5 centuries, more than 5 generations. So you can't say they're not Africans. So, like I said before, melanated Africans, melanated Brits have been brainwashed to believe that melanated Americans do not have culture. And before I really get into that whole breaking it down to you and making you understand that we as melanated Americans have culture, I want this young lady from the UK to spit her rhetoric and I want you to see it. And then from there, I'm going to go into we as melanated Americans, how we have culture. Let's go. Here we go.
London. What makes it different from the US, yeah? Like, we kind of like claim our roots a lot more. I mean, I feel like we are more kind of like culturally diverse.
Is it weird when African Americans don't know where they're from?
Yeah, strange.
It's not really our fault though.
I feel like people of ethnic race in the UK, like, we tend to bond more with other people.
Yeah. To your British Africans here get mad at me when I say I'm American. I am African American, but my granddad's been in America, so technically America's all I know.
You're an American citizen.
Do you know what you are? No, ethnically.
I don't know.
I would find that strange. I feel like I wouldn't really have a personality.
What? No, that's a hot take. You wouldn't have a personality because you don't know where you're from.
Like, I take pride in where I'm from. If we just didn't know where we was from and was just walking around saying we're British, like, we don't feel like we have a culture.
Tend to bond more over food as well. Just call yourself American, mac and cheese and greens. That's just so like...
Soul food is part of Black American culture because it stems back from the slavery days.
All right, as she ended, right? She started trying to belittle the fact that, collard greens, mac and cheese, fried chicken, fried fish, cornbread, sweet potato pie, bean pie. these things are not melanated American culture? For a fact of the matter, that is our culture, because like I gave y'all the definition of what makes a person or a nation's culture is the food they eat, the clothes they wear, the music they listen to, the way they talk, the way they worship. These are all the things that make culture. And what happens is, because of the internet now, a lot of people are getting bamboozled into thinking only one way. I'm going to tell you, before the internet, you could go to different parts of America and New Yorkers would act different than Southerners. Southerners would act different than people from the West Coast. West Coast would act different than people from Texas. And people from Texas would act different than people from the Midwest, Detroit, Chicago, things of that nature. Because as the video said earlier, he said culture is what a specific type of people, what they do. And when you live in America, having America to be as vast as it is, and having all type of climates and land developments, you have people doing many different things. But see, the beautiful thing about melanated Americans, aka black people, is the fact that we are very, very resilient. We turn things into things. And this is what truly makes Black American culture, meaning without melanated Americans, you wouldn't have jazz. Without melanated Americans, you wouldn't have rock and roll. Without melanated Americans, you wouldn't have house music. Without melanated Americans, you wouldn't have hip hop. And this is the music, right? And then you look at the clothes that UK people wear. They wear Nikes, they wear sweatsuits, they wear fitted hats. They wear all the things that are synonymous with Americans, melanated Americans, Black Americans. These are the things that we make popular. I was talking to a young man at my job, and we were just breaking down how society has got to the point that's gotten the heads of people from other countries that are melanated, that they think that melanated Americans have no culture but ratchetness, right? And that's an ignorant culture. That's not Black culture, And one thing I realized is that what Black culture really has is the fact that we are innovators. We are survivors. We are soldiers. We make things happen. We don't do like other melanated people in the world where when a tyrant comes, they just fall in line and they do what the tyrant says do. With melanated Americans, we get to the point where we're tired of something, we rebel. We do other than what should be done. This is why all of the different musics that I named is because at one point in time, melanated Americans didn't have it, so they had to develop something. Things were taken away from them because of racism, so they bring something else to the table. And then when we create something, it becomes so great that they want to emulate it. And then they forget where it came from, and then they try to say the people who created it, they don't have culture. No, everything you look at when it comes to America is Black culture. Everything. All the positive is what we have brung to the table, but they want to label us with all the negatives. So, I wanted to make this video real quick to kill that narrative, because that's the whole purpose of when I do videos. I don't care if I'm talking about basketball, football, boxing, hip hop, relationships, politics. I'm here to talk. I'm here to kill the narrative of the nonsense that we have been getting spoon-fed for the last 30 years. It is time for people to wake up, stop being woke, but wake up, get on your purpose, and figure out what you need to do, and stop listening to everything somebody say, and stop being peer pressured into following people and following things that inside your own mind and heart is the wrong thing to be doing. So before I bounce, I want to play this one last young lady's video real quick, and I want to react to what she had to say. And I believe she had a really good point about us as melanated Americans, aka Black Americans. The fact that we have to fix our own house, clean our own house before we expect to unify with other nations that are melanated. Meaning that old saying when your mom used to tell you, don't be going to somebody else's house, clean it up without cleaning your own first. So we as melanated Americans need to start cleaning our own house before we choose to be helping somebody else fix their situation, or we try to involve ourselves with some other groups to unify when we haven't even unified and fixed our own people here in the place called America. So check out what she has to say.
Y'all heard me or actually understand what I'm saying on that last post. Nobody ever said the diaspora couldn't be unified. I said make sure we separate ourselves, as in make sure that other people know that we're Black American, okay? Somebody say you look like this, you look like that. Say no, I look Black American. Yes, you are still in the diaspora. I know we want to belong so bad. Yes, you're still in the diaspora. Yes, you can still fuck with other Black people, but you need to understand that a Nigerian always gonna let you know that they Nigerian. A Jamaican always gonna let you know that they Jamaican. But Black Americans is calling themselves everything but Black American. You are fucking Black American, and you need to stand on that shit, and you need to be proud of that shit. Stop trying to find other names for it. Stop trying to attach yourself to other groups and wash away that. You are Black American. Make sure motherfucker know that you are Black American. Make sure you being proud of that shit. You can be proud to be a part of the diaspora. You can be proud to fuck with other Black people and be united with them. But make sure you being proud to be fucking Black American and not let nobody take that shit away from you. Because once again, we are the most influential culture on the race of this earth, and people thrive on us hating ourselves and wanting to be everything else. People love to reject us, knowing damn well we the blueprint. Stop playing yourself. That's what I'm saying. Be friends who you want to be friends with. But I'm telling you right now, people love to hate us, literally.
She right on point with that, for real, for real. And we have to start realizing that when we create things, it becomes a phenomenon. When we say we're done with something, it goes out of business. Give you two examples. One, before the melanated American, aka the Black man, Black woman, was driving Cadillacs, Cadillac was about to go out of business. But because we said it was a car to drive in, it's still a multi-billion-dollar company. Because of the melanated American chose for that to be the car that we say is that car, right? And then I come from the hip hop era when in the 1980s, I was there as a kid at the beginning, back in 73. Some say all the way back to 71, but I was a little kid. I was there. There was something else at one point in time in 80, and from 80, I guess it was like from 81 to 83, going in 84. Lee jeans, Lee. Lee jeans was the biggest thing that breakdancers and hip hoppers would rock. Somebody comes out with a revised version of the song called Shout. And in the song Shout, it was shout, shout, let it all out, right? That's what they said, but they switched it and they say shout, shout, Lees are played out. These are the jeans that we could do without, right? Because they do that, because of the hip hop community says, okay, we don't mess with Lees no more. Everybody dropped Lees, and Lees hasn't been big ever since. Anything that the melanated American deems to be the flavor, it becomes the flavor. Anything we say that's out of date and is played out, it gets played out. We as melanated Americans, Scott, have to start realizing we have power. We have power to make things and break things. And like the young lady said, we got to stop going around trying to cling to somebody else's culture. We're not Egyptians. We're not Senegalese people. We're not Brazilians. And they're not us either. Just because a Puerto Rican is dark skinned don't make them a black Puerto Rican. They're a melanated Puerto Rican, meaning they're Puerto Rican first, and their skin tone just happened to make them a little browner than their forefathers that lived in that country. But nationality-wise, they're Puerto Ricans. Just like nationality-wise, we are Americans. We're melanated Americans, but we're Americans, and we need to start realizing that and knowing that this is our country. Now, we may have got treated like shit for a very, very, very long time. Yeah, I said it. We've been treated like shit. But just like a child whose mother don't treat her very well, that don't stop her from being her mother. She's just a very bad mother. And America has just been a very bad parent to the melanated American for the last umpteen decades. But that don't stop you from being American. So you have to realize that you have the opportunity to become what you need to become to be happy in America. Because God could have chose to put you in any other place in the world, but he chose you to be here in America. So you should be thanking God that he put you here, and you should do the best you can to be who you need to be in this country and stop being a victim, crying about, oh, racism this, oh, racism that, the white man this, the white man that. You need to stop that. But to end it all, just to let you know, like the young lady say, we're melanated Americans. We're black Americans. We have culture. Our culture is solidified on this planet. People want to be us. So the next time you hear some idiot say that a black American, a melanated American ain't got no culture, tell them take off your style. Take that sweatsuit off that you rock in UK. All you Africans, put your dashikis back on and stop wearing American clothes if we so-called don't have no culture. All you African movie makers that be on Netflix, stop trying to make movies that look like Love and Hip Hop. Stop wearing all these weaves and nails and everything else and the Chanel bags and all these things that black Americans, melanated Americans have been doing for years. Now y'all want to look like us and then try to take the credit. Y'all always talking about how lazy, how much black Americans lost, but you want to be us. You want to do us. It's like my man Eddie Kane said in 5 Heartbeats, told Flash, you trying to take my spot, Flash? You trying to be like me, Flash? You even trying to riff like me? That's what all other cultures that look like us try to do. They try to be us and then try to belittle us saying we ain't got no culture. I would rather for you to say thank you, rock out with us, and just fit in, get in where you fit in, than for you to try to come out your mouth talking about we ain't got no culture, but at the same time looking just like us. So, like I always say, get your brain up and remember to hit the like, hit the subscribe, watch all my other channels and help be a part of the resistance to all this nonsense that be all over the internet. We gotta get right, people. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.
I've been waiting to say this all year, and I'm gonna say it. And this is a good time.
Mainstream media is not your friend. The culture is not your friend. The government is not your friend. Big business is not your friend. They are operating collegiately in unison to create a set of systems that are beneficial to them and disadvantage you.
So remember, get your brain up, subscribe to all platforms, and join the resistance.